It's Unrecht and Unrecht to the people in the streets. They stopped and exchanged greetings with everyone they meet. They barely even noticed lines of marching men till they arrived in numbers. They were armed and from the glen. Ireland will remember heroes from this time, standing there together as the Angelus did chime. Ever proudly Irish, fighting English strife on this Easter Monday, giving up their lives. James and Patrick did the best, putting up a fight. They always were outnumbered by the English knights. Even with their rifles echoing their pride, heavy guns abounded on the other side. Ireland will remember heroes from this time, standing there together as the Angelus did chime. Ever proudly Irish, fighting English strife on this Easter Monday, giving up their lives. James and Patrick did their best, putting up a fight. They always were outnumbered by the English might. And even with their rifles echoing their pride, heavy guns abounded on the other side. Other side. Ireland will remember, with friends' lives on the line, eventually surrender. They made their mark in time. The English in their anger made martyrs of our men. A world that asked the question, the rising unbroken. They made their mark in time. Remember, remember, remember. They made their mark in time.
It was a black and tan evening, and throughout the town, families were indoors, they feared being gunned down. Michael and his mother sat with their lights out, hearing noises outside that filled their heads with doubts. You really think you're something? You're only filthy scum. But if this was a fair fight, we'd have you on the run. You're the ones in uniform, running around with guns. But listen here, you black and tans, one day yours will come. There was no knock upon the door, it just came flying in. And Michael hugged his mother till he took one on the chin. They dragged him and his ma outside and threw against the wall. Asked him what his name was, and he holds to the one. You really think you're something? You're only filthy scum. But if this was a fair fight, we'd have you on the run. You're the ones in uniform, running around with guns. But listen here, you black and tans, one day yours will come. In front of him they killed her, bullet in the head. Asked you once, now what's your name, you whores? Or he said. They beat him with their rifles and kicked him round the place. When blood was seeping from his ears, they shot him in the face. You really think you're something? You're only filthy scum. But if this was a fair fight, we'd have you on the run. You're the ones in uniform, running around with guns. But listen here, you fucking tans, one day yours will come. Outside Barry's shop, the road ahead was full of sheep, and the truck came to a stop. 3 young men came up behind and filled it full of lead, and didn't stop their shooting till all inside were dead. You really think you're something? You're only filthy scum. But if this was a fair fight, we'd have you on the run. You're the ones in uniform, running around with guns. But listen here, you bucket tans, one day yours will come. Your day will come.
It was the 3rd year of the famine, Ireland on her knees, corn being shipped out to the troops by the absentees. Michael tried to find some food for his babies in the street. They were starving by the hour and had no food to eat. Mary was heartbroken, watching her babies die. She also had no food to eat, her breasts had now run dry. He tried to break into a store to gather them some corn, hoping that his kids might see the waking of the morn. Trevelyan's burning in his hell for what he failed to do. Stood and watched his island starve and said it was their due. Many lives were ended, families destroyed, all from a potato and some English bastard pride. In court the judge felt nothing when he had been caught. 10 years in Australia as punishment he got. Mary stood there near the dock and fell down to her knees. She lost her only Michael, despite her mercy pleas. Trevelyan's burning in his hell for what he failed to do. Stood and watched his island starve and said it was their due. Many lives were ended, families destroyed, all from a potato and some English bastard's pride. bay. He hung his head in anguish, had nothing more to say. For Mary and her babies, she could but wail and cry. She went back home and buried both in the fields of Athenry. Trevelyan's burning in his hell. What he failed to do, stood and watched his Ireland stars, and said it was their due. Many lives were ended, families destroyed, all from a potato and some English bastard's pride.
Who knows what makes a man a hero, while others simply live out lives as men. To die perhaps a hero or a martyr, who makes that awful choice for them? Oh, for centuries our country has been tested. The English in their hatred and neglect. Irish men and women have responded and offered up their lives without regret. Michael was a gallant Irish leader. He knew his role was bound to end one day, yet never shied from what he did in danger, nor sought another path where he could stray. Collins was a hero, and he'd given us his all. He met his final destiny at a place called Blueshirts. He died in an ambush, a hero of the state. He became the Irish Martyr we only dream of as our fate. His role after the rising angered many, but he stayed true regardless of the cost. In the battle for Irish independence, he was pivotal in how the English lost. Collins was first and foremost Irish. He had no problem facing British down when they threatened, claiming superiority. He looked them in the eye and shot them down. Collins was a hero, and he'd given us his all. He met his final destiny at a place called Blueshirts. He died in an ambush, a hero of the state. He became the Irish Martyr we only dream of as our fate. There were those that feared him like those that laid in wait. Upon the hill at Blueshirts on that fateful date, they had their orders from the top and carried their orders out. But when they killed this Irishman, the country was in doubt. Still in England shadows left brother against brother. Ireland's civil war raged on, putting one against the other. Collins was a hero, and he'd given us his all. He met his final destiny at a place called Blueshirts. He died in fate.
John left the hunger in Galway, deserted the USA, went to help Santa Anna, being Catholic was his way. The Americans had abused him, so he formed an Irish brigade. The San Patricios were founded, but he knew they were heaven-made, heaven-made. Heaven-made, the Irish brigade. It was Riley's Irish army, but was it truly heaven-made? Their fame spread like wildfire, their name became well known. South of the border is where they made their home. In America they witnessed both hate and abuse, but down in good old Mexico they shared the same grassroots. Heaven-made, heaven-made, the Irish brigade. It was Riley's Irish army, but was it truly heaven-made? But then at Churubusco, outnumbered as they were, facing odds of 6-1, the fight was never fair. At last when they surrendered, in a shameful show of hand, America took out its hate. Over 50 men were hanged. Yes, 50 men were hanged. Heaven-made. Heaven-made, 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 the Irish brigade. It was Riley's Irish army, but was it truly heaven-made? But John had left before the war, so him they couldn't hang. Instead they placed upon his cheek a large D as a brand. Though they meant to shame him, he wore the mark with pride. Convinced, like all of Mexico, he fought on the right side. Heaven-made, 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 the Irish brigade. It was Riley's Irish army, but was it truly heaven-made? Up then at Churubusco, outnumbered as they were, each day in the army, he proudly wore his bird, while others cast aspersions, said to keep it in the shade. He stood so proudly Irish and said 'twas heaven-made. Heaven-made, 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 the Irish brigade. It was Riley's Irish army, but it was truly heaven-made. Spies in Dublin, listen for a word. No matter who the target, no matter how absurd, they use violence and deception to earn the kingdom's wage. Didn't bother with the truth, acted out in rage. Collins was intelligence for the IRE, knew he had to stop them, not another day to waste another life or see another hurt. The time had come to take them out, time to clean the dirt. They were the Cairo Gang, agents of the king, answer to nobody, felt nobody's sting. The Cairo Gang, named for the cafe, Collins men will catch them and they'll be held to pay. Collins' own apostles, in the dead of night, found the reptiles hiding, killed with little fight. Of course the Brits denied it, claimed none that died were spies, but by then the words they sent out were little more than noise. They were the Cairo Gang, agents of the king, answer to nobody, felt nobody's sting. The Cairo Gang, named for the cafe, Collins men will catch them and they'll be held to pay.
especially maids and servants, gave Collins what he sought. Identified the reptiles when they lived or caught, hiding out and begging. Some had even cried, but the squad showed them no mercy, and all the reptiles died. They were the Cairo Gang, agents of the king. Answer to nobody, felt nobody's sting. The Cairo Gang, named for the cafe. Collins' men will catch them and they'll be held to pay. To many, and many lost their lives. Innocents made suffer, Brits happy to connive. When asked in the later years if he felt bad for the crime, Collins merely stated that they were paid back in their own coin. The Cairo Gang, named for the cafe. Collins' men had caught them and there was hell to pay. The time of conflict, the war to end all wars. England was extended and vulnerable, of course. Some 200,000 of Ireland's finest men responded to their call to arms to help the kingdom win. But others saw it as a chance and picked their timing well. They would march on Dublin at Monday's chiming bell. Weapons they were needed to balance out the fight. Germany was willing and the timing felt so right. His son, Untold Hero, paid the price as he offered up his life. Smuggling guns was rarely how he'd choose. The weapons they were needed took the risk, yet ended up an asterisk to Padraig and the boys that lit the fuse. The arms, they were all German and destined for the men that planned to rise for Easter, take Ireland back again. 20,000 rifles and 500,000 rounds, brought across by casement, were scuttled and were drowned. This Untold Hero paid the price as he offered up his life. Smuggling guns was rarely how he'd choose. The weapons they were needed took the risk, yet ended up an asterisk to Padraig and the boys that lit the fuse. Roger paid for getting caught with his very life. They hanged him back in London and in his back a knife. Trashed the hero's character with salacious little claims. Writs that spat out lie on lie and ruined his good name. Casement paid the price as the English took his life. The evidence they had was close to zero. Appeals for clemency fell on those that wouldn't see, and he died upon a rope, an Irish hero.
Was a highwayman that flourished in the mountains 4 centuries ago in Kerry, with victims in the thousands. Or so they told their story, the English with their lies. They said he robbed the poor as well and sought to him deride. In truth he hated landlords and their leech upon the poor. He sought out lords and ladies, and others he was sure would squeeze the blood of neighbors, take their wealth abroad, enrich themselves from Ireland, and steal with no forethought. We'll raise a glass and drink to him. This Patrick was no saint, nor was he quite as evil as the English tried to paint. He was a man like you and me, an Irishman by far. So raise a toast to Patrick, there's whiskey in the jar. When he robbed Captain Farrell just outside of Trevelyan, he brought the money to his girl, a hussy named Molly. She swore that she would love him, but she was the captain's lover. So while he still slept in her bed, to them she turned him over. We'll raise a glass and drink to him. This Patrick was no saint, nor was he quite as evil as the English tried to paint. He was a man like you and me, an Irishman by far. So raise a toast to Patrick, there's whiskey in the jar. In Dublin they did try him, sentenced him to hang. No one spoke out for him, his friends had long since ran. On a rope he left this world, but his story traveled far. His song is sung all over, there's whiskey in the jar. We'll raise a glass and drink to him. This Patrick was no saint, nor was he quite as evil as the English tried to paint. He was a man like you and me, an Irishman by far. So raise a toast to Patrick, there's whiskey in the jar. We'll raise a glass and drink to him. This Patrick was no saint, nor was he quite as evil as the English tried to paint. He was a man like you and me, an Irishman by far. So raise a toast to Patrick, there's whiskey in the jar. Marching down a country road in Wexford, their banner flying proudly, oh so green. 10,000 men behind it marched together, holding the Republic in their dreams. Captain Roach waved them ever forward, and the priest gave them rights as they went by. The oldest of the men was 67, and the youngest at 14 was just a boy. Grab your pikes, boys, and head outside. The time is here to wear your Irish pride. With your pike upon your shoulder, you'll be marching ever bolder. Grab your pikes, boys, now. Show the English yeoman how an Irishman will give up his life in his battle against foreign strife. Once they won the day and took another city, no one even wondered at the cost. Pike to musket may have been a real imbalance, but it was in the words of traitors, they were lost. Men of little morals and no conscience,
gave the names of leaders to the foe. For silver coin and recognition, they dealt the Irishmen a fatal blow. Grab your pikes, boys, and head outside. The time is here to wear your Irish pride. With your pike upon your shoulder, you'll be marching ever bolder. Grab your pikes, boys, now. Show the English yeomen how an Irishman will give up his life in his battle against foreign strife. United Irishmen, the country over, stood and fell united for the cause, to rid dear old Ireland of oppression, and to build a new republic without pause. But in the end it only gave us martyrs, Tone and Fitzgerald at the head. Ireland would go back to sleep and cry her tears, honoring her bravest female dead. Grab your pikes, boys, and head outside. The time is here to wear your Irish pride. With your pike upon your shoulder, you'll be marching ever bolder. Grab your pikes, boys, now. Show the English yeomen how an Irishman will give up his life in his battle against foreign strife. Grab your pike.
An island in transition, a hotbed rebel home, no longer part of Britain. We struggled with our own. The rebels' own ambitions came up to the fore. Those who had been silent now clearly wanted more. Those who were our leaders battled the extreme, men who sought to take us where we had never been. Among the very dangerous were people that we knew, like Commissioner O'Duffy and his men with shirts of blue. The Blueshirts of Ireland stood in Ireland's name. They offered a real vision of a nation without shame. They fought beside Franco and stood so Axis proud. O'Duffy courted treason when treason was allowed. They stood with Mussolini and the far right of their day. Hating commie bastards is what they used to say. But their hate ran oh so deeper to all but how they view that life in dear old Ireland should now begin anew. The Blueshirts of Ireland stood in Ireland's name. They offered a real vision of a nation without shame. They fought beside Franco and stood so Axis proud. O'Duffy courted treason when treason was allowed. So what is it within such men that causes such a hate of immigrants and others that follow different faith? These men may have loved Ireland, but it wasn't quite the same as the one that made the rising worth the nation's pain. The Blueshirts of Ireland stood in Ireland's name, yet by the end was clear
Gather all your pikes and guns, meet us by the shore. We've taken all that we can take, and won't take any more. The English and their evil souls can look elsewhere to dwell. Grace will help send them there, she'll send them all to hell. Oh, Roshino Mahawalia, you are welcome home. Oh, Roshino Mahawalia, and you don't come alone. Come on, me boys, raise a cheer, our queen is coming back. They say she is a pirate, but her soul was never black. She wears her soul so proudly that it is often seen. She wears it on her sleeve, you see, 'tis the wearing of the green. Oh, Roshino Mahawalia, you are welcome home. Welcome home, Roshino Mahawalia, and you don't come alone. Come on, me boys, and raise a cheer, our queen is coming back. They say she is a pirate, but her soul was never black. She wears her soul so proudly that it is often seen. She wears it on her sleeve, you see, 'tis the wearing of the green, of the green. Oh, Roshino Mahawalia, you are welcome home. Welcome home, Roshino Mahawalia, and you don't come alone.
There are few Irish heroes with success quite like him. Patrick was an officer who knew the chance was slim. With Limerick City on its knees, he wore his Irish pride. Took 600 cavalry on a Ballinaty ride. Remember Patrick Sarsfield and revel in his pride. Celebrate this soldier and his most famous ride. Patrick Sarsfield, when all is said and done, though you might hail from elsewhere, you are Limerick's favorite son. Limerick was now under siege, and English win was sure. But when he blew their cannons, its safety was secured. William's planned invasion to wipe old Ireland clean had met its match in Sarsfield, and the treaty stole its sheen. Remember Patrick Sarsfield and revel in his pride. Celebrate this soldier and his most famous ride. Patrick Sarsfield, when all is said and done, though you might hail from elsewhere, you are Limerick's favorite son. In the flight of geese around him, Patrick went to France. He was a major general and reveled in the chance. His men had wins in Belgium, but wounded he would die. The final words as he lay dying, there should have been an Irish sky. Should have been an Irish sky. Remember Patrick Sarsfield and revel favorite son. Limerick's favorite son.